Hey kids, I'm back again. Excuse me. Got a whole bunches of news stories for you. You can see it's a different day. First one I wanted to tell you was when I was a kid, we used to go on vacation together, the whole family. And Dad would drive, and Mom would be the navigator. And she didn't navigate any better than a lot of women you know. My wife can't read a map, and she couldn't either very well. She could, but she didn't get it right all the time. Well, Dad would not turn around. It didn't make any difference. If he missed a turn, that's okay. We'll find it again later, maybe. So, you get right on down the road, and it's 200 miles back, but he's going to find another way to get there. So we were going to, I think it was Willow Run, which was over near Grand Rapids, near Detroit, and she was giving him directions. That's where the Kaiser factory was, and he was a Kaiser dealer. So we were going to go look at the factory, and I think we were going on up to Canada or something. I don't know. Anyway, we went, and she got the wrong directions, and he missed the turn, and we're wandering around, and this has been going on for about an hour, and we're not getting anywhere. We're turning here and turning there, and we're obviously lost. And Dad had had just about all he could take, and he was not a yeller or a screamer. He was a pouter. George Gabbert would pout, and you might be a week and never know what he was pouting about. But anyhow, this time he'd had about all he could take, so he just stopped, saw a show he wanted to go to, and he just stopped the movie theater. And back in those days, cars weren't air conditioned, and it was hot. And so, and movie theaters were. Pulled up in front of the movie theater, turned off the key, got out, and went in the movie theater. Left us sitting in the car. He didn't want to get the wrong turn too many times. Well, as the kids grew up, my kids, we had some interesting vacations too. Well, in fact, before I get to that, though, I'll give you another thing. We were going to Niagara Falls, Mom and Dad and us kids, and thought it would be a good idea to go through Canada. So we went up to Detroit, and of course we got a new car with dealer plates on it. And we go through the tunnel, we get over the tunnel, and the Canadian border guards just went nuts. Can't come in here with a car with dealer plates on it. You're not going to sell no cars here in Canada. We aren't going to let you in. And after arguing for a half hour, they turned us around and we went back to Detroit. Well, this went on for an hour or so, a couple hours. And so about midnight, 1 o'clock in the morning, we went across the bridge into Canada. And by that time, they had different people over there. Of course, they did anyway because it was a bridge. And they didn't see the license plate, so we went right on in and went on to Niagara Falls. But it was just an idea that my dad never take no for an answer. I guess it kind of fits in the family. Anyway, now I'll get back to my kids. We were going to Florida, and Nancy always nagged me when we drove. That's terrible. Do this, do that. And she couldn't read a map either, had no clue at all. So I'd have to stop, read the map, because she'd have it upside down. And so this has been going on all the way down to Florida. And we were in, I think it was Tampa. And I had just had about all I could take. And now the kids are fighting in the back room, back seat, because they woke up. And we're in the station wagon, and it's getting noisy. And I'm yelling at them, shut up, and she's telling them, don't being hollering at those kids. And finally, I had all I could take. I pulled up to the curb, said, everybody out. And they got out, and I drove away. And they're standing there on the street corner. I came back in about 15 minutes and picked them up, but they were quiet after that. So sometimes you got to be a little drastic. Another time I was kind of drastic. Tina had this boyfriend, this Jimmy Vester, and he was a high school dropout, and he was a window washer. The window washing business wasn't real good, so he had decided he was going to go to Texas, and he had a job digging worm beds. He was going to make worm beds for fishermen in Texas. And Tina was going to go with him. I think she is 18, 19 years old, something like that. And she's going to go. And she was telling us about it. And I said, "You're not going. This is the way it is around here." I said, "You're not going, you're not going. And if I have any more discussion on this, put you in your room and lock the door." Well, she stormed up the stairs, and I put her in her room. I don't know whether I locked the door or not, but she didn't go to Texas anyway. And a couple of days Jimmy was gone, and in a week she forgot all about him. So sometimes, you know, it's not easy being a parent. And we've had some interesting things with Chuck. Chuck and Joe were absolutely hilarious because we were going to. I think we were out skiing. I went skiing with them in Colorado, and I think it was. Yeah, it doesn't make any difference where. But anyway, we were skiing there, and we had Joe, and Joe was about 4 years old, maybe 5, about 5, I guess. And so we're going skiing, and we take Joe over to Kindercare at the ski hill. And we said, "Now look, we're going up skiing, and you watch the kid, and we think it'd be a good idea to give him a set of skis and give him some ski lessons here, you know, and teach him a little bit about this thing." And they said, "Oh no, he's too young for that. He wouldn't do good at that." And we said, "Well, you know, he's on a hockey team, and he's been skating hockey for 2 years now, or a year and a half, and we think he could do it just fine." Well, they finally decided, well, we'll get him a pair of skis, but we're not going to teach him to ski. He can play in the backyard here with them, fenced-in yard. Well, we came back at 4 o'clock, and no Joe. Joe's gone. And we said, "Well, where's Joe?" And they said, "Well, he aggravated us so bad here, we just couldn't put up with him. So him and another kid were giving us a lot of trouble, so we put them both on skis and give them a ski instructor, and they're up on the mountain learning to ski." So that was the last time Joe went to Kindercare. After that, he went skiing with us. But you know how Chuck is. No, you don't get any slack. So we're skiing down the hill, and Chuck's going hard as he can go out in front of us. And Joe is behind him, and I'm behind Joe, bringing up the rear. And Becky's way back.